right? Like now I have to take into account that like, you know, I'm going to bleed. Like how is that going to work in these situations? Or like how long am I going to be gone? Like how, like I have to keep track of time. I got to look after my fucking idiotic body because it was designed in an idiotic manner. um right? So anything you guys offer up to me and it kind of like helps in that situation, you know, like God sees everything. I told you, everybody I encounter when I go back, I'm gonna tell them everything that happened, even though I know they're nosy and watching everything now. But anyhow, what time is it now? Like, I actually have to eat. Like, I've been going on, but I haven't even barely scratched the surface. It's like 7:30 now. Okay, we need to eat. Okay, I can't eat with this on, right? I don't want to mess up the sleeves because I don't want to stick it in the laundry and then it like goes to shit. Oh no, I'm showing skin now. We're fucked. Yeah, see that annoying mark there that he keeps teasing me over and calling me a marshmallow over. Then I have this one from way back when. This is a burn mark. You guys can clearly see it, right? Like this is the mark here. That's from baking, right? I got that from a cookie uh, situation. And then I don't like eating cereal because I remember the negligence thing. My burn mark is here, right? So like you can't, that one you're not gonna be able to see, and I'm like insecure, like showing off that much skin, which is crazy for like Caribbean people because they're like them like for show off skin all the time. Um, you don't know how good that feels to have that off my neck. um, yeah, I hate that I'm wearing pants right now. Like that fucking pisses me off. Okay, I'm gonna eat and keep talking. You guys take breaks when you need to because I don't know how that works either. Because in human beings, like for humans, they have to take breaks like every 20 minutes. Like it's like they have to take 20-minute, half an hour, 2 hour breaks, right? And they have to like space that out. But then for inhuman beings, I'm like, I don't know how that works. Because I'm like, God not get no breaks. I don't know if the archangels or any of them just get breaks, right? All of them are workaholics. I'm like, I don't know how work-life balance works here. So you guys do you, right? Like I know you're watching, but like figure out when you want to take a break, right? Like that's all up to you guys. Like if you're gonna watch this all the way, that fucking 7 hours all the way through, and you're like, Lisa, come on, what in the fuck? You guys have the power to pause the video at any point and look at the video. I don't know if it's gonna get taken down because I said certain words or what in the hell is going to happen. Right? That's like up. It's everybody's judgment here now on what to do. I'm like, in my situation right now, I know I have to talk. And I'm doing my best to get all of that out right now. So that's my job right now. And they're gonna be like, oh, Lisa, you can't talk about this. They're gonna come for you and all that kind of shit. And I'm like, good, let them. Like, I'm not fucking scared. Fear is a taught thing. Like, there's nothing, like, everything has a fear, right? I'm like, what do I need to be scared of? I'm like, obviously these beings have stuff they're scared of too, right? I'm like, if everyone is coming from a place where they're not feeling fearful, then we wouldn't have an issue. Okay, so yesterday after I went for my driving lesson, and then I went to the grocery store, then I picked up food. So now I'm gonna eat, and for food I've got half rice, half noodles. Cause I'm like, for me, I'm like, since I've been like here, I'm like, fuck, I'm like, I need somebody send rice, and I don't eat any shit whole rice, right? If you look, I only eat Guyana Gold rice. I don't know if you guys have seen that. I'll probably bring that up later. But that is like the best high quality level rice, right? Because it comes from the fields back from home, right? So if you compare that to the other shithole rice that they just sell, like it's not even worth dog consumption, right? They call it dog rice because they're like, even it's not even fit for dogs. So I'm like, I haven't eaten rice properly in so long. I'm like, in curry, I'm like, I don't like the fucking curry cleanse. And our curry is gonna be different from, I've said this before, from Japanese and from Indian. Like, everything is done differently. Our food tastes better, right? Um, yeah, so being on that curry cleanse for a good couple of months, like, oh my god, I'm like dying. My ancestors are probably watching me and like, what in the fuck? They're probably laughing at me, calling me a white girl because I haven't had curry in so long. But anyways, I have rice with me, so I kind of want to eat. So if you guys want to eat with me, you can. But I don't know if it's because you guys are draining me or because it's actually dinner time or what in the fuck to do now. So I'm gonna turn on the light because it's starting to get dark now, right? My phone's still not done charging. It's only at 86. Like, why is it taking so long? When I had to shoot concerts, like it would take, because it would take me an hour to get, if it wasn't a busy concert, like, like Stray Kids in them or Blackpink, right? When I went for those concerts, like, you're not coming back within an hour. But I'm like, when I went to like Only One Of and like when I had to go down to Scotia, right? Like aespa and NCT, um, or even when I went to go see Pierce the Veil and Sleeping with Sirens, like the time it took me to get from that venue to home, by the time I finished like my phone would be done charging, right? Because I'd have my power bank and it'd be done. But for the other ones, it's like it would take longer, right? Because I'm like stuck there, right? Or I could come home and I wouldn't even have to worry about using extra power. Yeah, so that's another thing too. It's like, okay, if I'm gonna come document like, underwater and in caves and all kinds of things, I'm like, how am I gonna do that, right? Like my DSLR stuck back at the house, right? And I'm like, that makes me so fucking depressed and sad because I had the memory cards and everything for those things and I never got a chance to use it. I ended up switching to my phone because this is what's allowed in certain venues. Right? So I'm like, great. Now what do I do? Because like I'm gonna be in a position where I don't have any electricity on me. I'm like, how am I gonna record and do shit now? And the quality of it and all those things, like I can't imagine if you guys actually use technology, because I'm like, okay, when AI comes out, it feels like finally you guys get a chance to like have a space where we are, right? Like then I start thinking about the dark web and I'm like, all the crazy shit that probably happens underneath that iceberg. I'm like, what in the fuck? Like in my head, because you know how they have like organ, like shady organ selling or whatever on the black market. I'm like, okay, if we look at it from the lizard perspective, if they need organs, I don't know, to feast on or what in the fuck, I don't know what they're using it for. But I'm like, if they need those and they have regenerative properties, right, where they can like grow back limbs and stuff, I'm like, okay, let's say one of you like need, I don't know, like I don't know, my liver, for example. Let's say one of you are just like, Lisa, I need your liver, or like I'm like fucked for the rest of my life. I'll be like, okay. But I'm like, am I getting a replacement liver? Like, when you take my liver, I'm dead, right? Like, we need to have these discussions now, right? So it's like, if you guys can combine the supply and demand thing, then there's workarounds here now, right? It's like, okay, you can have my liver, or we can use your regenerative properties, make another liver, and then you guys can have that, you know what I mean? Like, without having to go through all the other, like, mess. Because now we have, like, then it comes back down to, like, okay, well, I got Lisa's liver now and I feel good, but now Lisa's fucked, and I'm like, oh, now we gotta transfer her consciousness into another body. Now she's in a clone, and, like, right, it gets really fucking messy here. Like, this is what I need to know. I don't know what you guys have tried yet or what's going on here. Help a bitch out, okay? Let me go turn the light on. anybody else, this is the see, this is like shithole paper towel because it doesn't rip clean. It's the same thing with rice. You'll have the rice and it's like you know the difference. If you've seen shit, you know. This is why I find it so mind blowing that people don't know the difference between like real food and fake food. Right? Because I like for me, I'm like I can't blame them because I grew up knowing what fake like rotting fake shit food looks like because of my grandfather, right? So I know what the good shit is, and because I read energy and stuff, like I know what has the highest quality energy that I need to consume, right? So I'm like I don't blame people. People are in situations where it's like things can't be helped. See? This is like white people's version of like for me I'm so used to, like it's bland, right? Like it needs flavor, like not spice, but I'm like it's missing flavor because I don't eat spice. Okay, I'm gonna take one big scoop of rice. Like this is another thing too. I'm like, can you guys eat human food because it's different? Like if I compare, I know I compare cats, I compare dogs to humans to you guys, but I'm like now if I compare cats to humans to you guys, cats have like different tongues, right? So or not like I don't know if we're talking about taste buds or just like the texture of their tongue, like they taste differently, right? So like with dogs, it's like you can't feed them chocolate, right? It's the same thing like cats. Um I'm trying to think. I don't know how to put into words what I want to say. Okay, stop laughing at me. Oh, I'm trying my best. Like, are your tongues different? Like, I know with like when we're talking about the lizards and like if they're closer into like snake genealogy, right? It would make more sense. It's like Lisa, I don't like this, or I like this because of how, because you guys sense things differently, right? Like how you're like, you guys like cream cheese taste. Oh God, like that's so sickening to think of. But I'm like, it's like, do you guys crave rice? Like, do you know what this tastes like? What it feels like? This is what like for me that's mind blowing. I'm like, how could so many different beings try the same type of food and it still tastes different to everybody, right? Like everybody's got different taste buds. So I'm like, do you guys eat rice? Do you know what it tastes like? Yes, I'm using a fork. I always use the wrong utensils for whatever I have to eat, okay? Because I bought this yesterday, the food hard, so it's like semi-stale. But I'm used to eating food when it's not fresh, right? Like for me, the only time I ate fresh food is when my mom was doing the cooking, right? Which is those photos you guys see there. She always used to say, she's like, Lisa, the food, she's like, Lisa, like, what would she say? I think she calmed down now. I don't know if she's gonna cause a scene. Anyways, I wish I did that when I was younger. Like I was too much. And this is why they always used to call me an angel. Like Lisa never had any problems. Everything's easy for me because I read everything. But anyhow, um, my grandfather couldn't cook. My grandmother kind of was forced to cook because she had no rights. My dad, because none of them were educated, focused on studies, so he never really learned how to cook. Right, and then he ended up working on cars, machines, all of those like electricity, all those types of shit, all of those things. Um, so he didn't know how to cook, and because he saw my grandmother always cook for my grandfather, he's like, that's normal, right? My mom couldn't cook. I don't know if my grandfather cooked, but I know my grandmother always cooked, and her food was, you couldn't tell. Like for me, if you blindfolded me, I could tell you Like with my dad, he had a distinct mechanic scent, right? Like he always smelled like diesel and brake fluid. So I know if my dad's in the room. And then with my mom, I told you guys like I get headaches because she's always wearing I don't know what perfume she layered that day. With my grandmother, her cooking, I could easily tell it apart from everybody else's because it's got like it's hard to explain, but like I know when I taste it, her energy's in it. Alright, like her cooking from my mom's is so different, right? And then I'm like, okay, she did the cooking, grandfather died, I don't know when. I don't know if he could cook. I only have in my head the memories of him when he was smoking because I remember the smoke scent. Um, he never wanted me to smoke. And then if you talk about the demiurge, he never wanted me to drink. And then when you look at it, I'm like, oh, drinking is worshiping a demon. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But I'm like, naturally people do this socially. And he's like, yeah, you can do it, but not in that manner. He's like, you gotta do it in an educational manner. I'm like, what the fuck? Because all of you were drinking at the time, right? Because you guys were all in pain and trying to numb out the pain. And I'm like, I can't reach you guys because you guys chose to drink. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess you're fucked. And now all you guys are sober now. So I'm like, oh, now we can talk. Because it's not my fault, right? He didn't allow for it. When you guys are in such a shitty ass energy, he's not going to allow you near me. Anyways, talking about cooking. My grandmother could cook, but she never passed that on to my mom, right? Because my mom, she's the youngest of like at least 4 or 5, right? So my aunts, like her sisters, looked after her more than my grandmother did. And then because my grandmother was a shithole parent to my mom was a shithole parent to me. She's like, Lisa, you have it so easy. Back in my day, we had to do this, this, and this. And I was like, I'm sorry you went through that, but I can't believe you want to push that pain onto me now. You know what I mean? I want to talk about women beaters, but I'll talk about that next video. Just because talking about that now and thinking about my mom is making me feel gross. But anyway. Then I like to continue generational curses. I don't like to break them. I'm like, okay, you chose to be stupid. You stay in stupid energy, okay? I ain't having any of that here. Right? And that's gonna fuck them over. I told you it's karma because now when they get old and shit, they're gonna be like, oh, they're probably gonna talk all kinds of shit about me. Right? Then when they go to see God, he's gonna be like, why the hell did you treat Lisa so badly? You guys started wrong first. Right? If he wants me to go make up with them, or they amend my spiritual contract, then we'll see what happens. Right? This is something humans can't comprehend, right? And so because my grandmother was a shithole parent to my mom, she used to tell her, your husband's gonna beat you. Like, she would scare her, right? Like, that was a tactic because all the old people got all of that because none of them were educated, right? So they passed on that idiotic fear. It's like, your husband's not gonna like you if you don't take care of him. You have to be able to cook, all of that dumb shit. So when my grandmother finally got my mom married off to my dad, because that initial, like, if you hear the story, I'm like, Dad, you didn't. But I'm like, I grew up with my dad, so I'm like, he's not a complete, like, when you see all of the, it depends on who you're talking to about my dad, right? Because in everybody's story, he's gonna be like a different person. To like some people, he'll be like the villain in the story, and to some people, he'll be like, like a godsend in the story, right? So it depends on who you talk to. So for me, I have a neutral stance because I'm like both pissed at him, but I'm like thankful and pissed. Like it's hard to explain. Like there's situations he put me in where I'm like, I really fucking hate you at this point in time. Right? Like when I had to go to high school and they didn't go to my graduation, that I'll never forgive. I'm like, that is the most unacceptable fucking thing ever. But then they went for my uni one, and all they used to do was bad talk everything. And then he kept calling me stupid and all those, like, there's so many things, like, I'm like, I just can't be helped. I can't, I'm out of fucks to give. So, in this situation, I understand my mom, but I'm pissed because she's passing on that bullshit to me now, right? So I'm like, okay, my grandmother's scaring my mom. It's like, okay, your husband's not gonna want you, your husband's gonna beat you, he's not gonna do this, that, and the other. So instead of teaching my mom how to cook and do things from a loving place, my mom basically learned whatever she did from her sisters. I told you my mom's the only one that can cook, right? So she's the only one that's got some common sense. I'd like to think. Sometimes my mom, I'm like, she's gotta be fucking crazy. I know some people are watching me eat and they're like, Lisa, why aren't you drinking anything? But I'm like, if I drink, I'm gonna have to piss and I'm not leaving this room. Oh, we're gonna be here forever if that happens. What was I saying? Yeah, my mom's the only one out of all her sisters that can actually cook, right? We can thank YouTube for that because my mom like experimenting. My dad's okay with her trying all kinds of shit. What's annoying is when he'll get because he'll, from my perspective when I was growing up, I'm like, Dad, what the fuck? Because he would come home after work and he would be like, she would put the food in front of him. He would eat it and he's like, the food tastes like shit. But then he always cussed the food before he ate it. Because he did that, my mom had that mindset. She's like, Lisa, the food's shit, but you have to eat it anyways. I'm sorry. So in my head, every time, because I always used to eat before my dad, and she'd always feed me first. Like, she hates feeding me. She'd always feed my brothers first. But in situations where she's like, she's unsure if my dad's gonna like the food, she'd feed me first because our taste buds are the same. Or pretty much close enough, right? Because every time my dad wanted something to eat, he always asked me for something to eat because he's like, Lisa, if Lisa's gonna eat it, I'll eat it. But I don't know if it's because of the energy thing where I'm like, right? Because I'm consuming energy when I eat the food too, right? Like this doesn't taste like food looks good, but then it doesn't taste good. That's what I'm asking you guys for inhuman beings because I know like they're like human food tastes so good, or like, and I'm like, do you guys know what this tastes like? Like if like our taste buds have to be different. This would give my grandfather a heart attack if he saw me eating this because he'd be like, Lisa's eating outside food. And then this would give my dad a heart attack if I was eating this because he'd be like, Lisa, how much money did you spend on that? And then this would piss my mom off because she's gonna be like, I had to stand in the kitchen all day to make shithole food, and you have the audacity to go eat out. And I'm like, you want some? You can eat some later. And then she would still beat my ass. And then when it comes to siblings, you have to share the food. Me and Trev always have to share food. So like for me right now, it feels really weird not having them nearby because I always had their energy near me. Like when I eat the food now, like that taste is missing. And that's so fucked up to say, but I'm like, it's missing. I've never eaten a complete, like since I've been on my own now, I've been eating meals completely on my own because I've never been able to eat a whole meal. See, this is why it's half and half, because if this was a complete thing, I never feel complete. That complete feeling is missing. They can't touch. Okay? Just like the Atlantic and the Pacific, they cannot touch. Anyways, speaking of my brothers, so I'm like, we had the snowstorm because the weather here is so fucking unpredictable. I'm like, okay, it's March. Well, today it's April 1st, right? But I'm like, in my head, I was like, it's almost end of March. I don't know how long it's gonna take for it to send the birthday card. So like, January is Tonesy's birthday, but I didn't find that card till like February, right? So I'm like, oh, I'll send it for Bri, and then I'll send stuff for both him and Tonesy in it, right? And I've been busy with so much shit, and I'm like, oh my god, we had this snowstorm. I don't know how long it's gonna take for this to mail out and reach them, right? And they don't know where I am, right? Because I didn't tell, like, to their knowledge, I'm in Ottawa, right? But I'm not in Ottawa. Ottawa adjacent, okay? I'm close to the border. But anyhow. It's end of March. And I'm like, I have to mail out this card because I don't know if it'll get to him in time. Or, because I'm like, I mailed it early because I'm like, okay, I'm going to bleed the next week. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to mail it at the proper time. I might as well mail it a little bit early. I mail it, he gets it early. Miraculously, he gets it. I was like, oh my god. I was panicked too because I'm like, I didn't put my, you know how you're supposed to put like the send to address and the return address? I didn't put this is the first time I never put the return address. So I'm like, there's money in there. If I like, am I willing to lose this amount of money right now? But I was happy. I'm like, he got it. So then, it's like, Lisa, how do you know he got it? Because I left a note in there and I said, if you get this, message me, right? And the first thing he did out like a random time during the day, he's like, Lisa, I got it. And because in my head, I put that in there too, and I'm like, because I know for a fact in my head, I'm like, I know Brian. I'm like, he's gonna open it, and he's gonna open it early. I'm like, it looks like a birthday card. How did you, like, oh, he's like, so after he messaged me, he's like, I got it. I'm like, my follow-up text to that was, I know you got it, but why did you open it early? And then his idiotic response to that, he's like, I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, it looks like a birthday card. You sure, bro? You sure you didn't know what it was? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he knew there was money in there, and he's like, yo, I'm gonna open this early because I can't wait to, right? His birthday's in like another 2 weeks. There's no way he was gonna wait. Anyways, did I tell you the story with Moneybags Trev? I don't think I told you that. I was supposed to tell you guys that story when I do the other one, but anyhow. Trev's birthday was in October. I'm close to my brothers. I don't have an issue with them. It's my parents I have an issue with. That's why I'm far out here. But anyway, right? I already had this discussion with Trev and Tonesy, and Tonesy was acting like a little bitch because he's still very young. It's so annoying. And then with Bri was the first one to message me, and he's like, Lisa, what the hell? I don't like the last memory I have with them. So that day I left, Mom was yelling at me as usual because every morning she was acting like a crazy bitch. So she was never in a good mood when she saw me. She's like, I don't like having to feed you. I don't like having to do this. Why do I have to get up? I'm like, oh my fucking god. Then, so when I lost respect for my dad was when he hit me, right? I never forgave him after that. Like, it's never gonna be the same. I'm like, how fucking dare you? With my mom, I think I told you guys the story. I'm like, I was really tired after work, and she's like, how could you not go and get my medication? And she went off like a fucking psycho bitch, and I was like, she kept saying how like, what did I have you for? What do I need you for? Like she kept acting like I'm entitled, like I need them for everything. Like I told you they can't live without me, but they keep acting like it's the other way around. So that really hurt, but I didn't like I would never hate my mom, right? So then after that whole I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll let it pass. And this happened one time. It's not like she hit me. She just verbally abusing me out for like a good half an hour, right? I should have recorded it and then had play that fucking back to her and be like, was this you doing this dumb shit? Anyhow, so I'm like, I let that go, right? Because I'm like, okay, whatever. She was young. She didn't want to have kids. They didn't have a life, whatever. She likes to blame shit on me all the time. I'm like, okay, whatever, pass. Let's slide. I don't really care. Because it's not like the only times I felt alive or I felt like I was living was when I came to do the concerts, right? Every other time I'm like, I'm just existing. Like I have to do things for a certain reason. It's like, Lisa, you have to do that because that's your mom. Or like, Lisa, you have to do that because that's your boss. Or Lisa, you gotta do it. I'm like, if I didn't have these certain connections, I'm like, I wouldn't fucking do anything for these people. If she wasn't my parent, I don't think I would have helped her with anything. Anyways, my breaking point with her was when she told me to go get married for money. And then she told me to start showing skin and stuff. And I'm like, you're telling me to whore myself out for money? And I was like, that was my breaking point. Because I'm like, if this is how you view me, then I don't want anything. I don't want you in my life. I don't want like you, I don't want to be a part of your life. If this is, you know what I mean? Like I was like, that's my breaking point. I'm leaving. I don't want to deal with this. Right? So I have no respect for my mom now. Right? Like now, like I feel like there's this. I don't like that. I feel hatred toward my mom because I understand where all the bullshit comes from. But I'm like at the same time, I'm like that didn't need to fucking happen. Right? But somehow it did. Right? And now we have all, like, now I'm here, we're talking about it, all this other stuff is happening. All right? Things happen for a reason. Nothing's gonna happen for no reason. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm not okay with them, but I'm okay with my brothers because they already know this was a long time coming. Things were gonna happen. Things couldn't stay, we couldn't pretend like everything was okay anymore. Trev still kind of acts like an asshole every now and then. But that's because I think his inner child died. So that day I left, she was yelling at me. I got up early because normally I don't see. Dad usually leaves for work before me. And then I don't see him till he gets back. So when he was just about to go out the door, I don't remember what, but I started talking to him and he's like, are you talking to me? And that really fucking hurt in that moment because I'm like, it's only me and you here. Who else would I be talking to? Like, I know I'm like a freak talking to spirits, but I'm like, what in the fuck? Right? So those are my last memories of them, right? Her yelling at me, him asking me, like, are you talking to me? Then with Trev, he was in a shitty mood. So I'm like, that's my last memory with him acting like a little bitch. With Brian Tones, different. So Bry's not he hates being touched. Like, you know how like with the youngest they like being like held and hugged and all this. Bry's like the complete opposite. He hates that shit. He's like, ew, human contact, get the fuck away from me, right? He's that kind of type. So that day, when Trevor was acting like a little bitch, Bri was putting on his boots. Because it's usually Trev gets ready, goes to start